Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff. I want to take this moment to thank everyone for supporting me in my efforts to raise the vibratory pitch of your thinking into your higher self. Thank you very much in my efforts right here on Serious Minds RNTV and The Masses. All power to all the people. Thank you very much. If you would like to continue supporting, and if you are a new listener, please support by giving your donations right here on my Cash App, $ Professor Griff, and or go to www.professorgriff.me. Thank you very much. Peace. All power, all the people. All right, greetings. Professor Griff, and this is The Masses. Every Monday and Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, I decided to come on a Sunday, simply because I got something kind of different I want to do, and just kind of seeing who's out there, just kind of, sometimes you just have to throw the rock in the pond and see how many ripple effect that it has, to see where to reach. All right, in the meantime, between time, all right, this is Black Power Media Reloaded. I want to shout out Kalaji, really appreciate you. All right. Okay, so this is definitely The Masses special Sunday edition. Not a religious thing, not a political thing, not an economic thing. I don't know, definitely not a sexual thing. Not a labor of love, not a legal thing. I think that's the 9 areas of people activity. Adding the 10th activity, which y'all should already know. If you don't know, look up the 9 areas of people activity by my now ancestor, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, in her book, The ISIS Papers. All right, 9 areas of people activity. This is a entertainment thing. All right, I want to dive into this song that I kind of put together. I think it has taken me, 3 months or so to kind of construct the music and then write the lyrics. It's a much more rewarding kind of feeling and thing when you actually can do the music, as opposed to producers doing music and you just coming in, spitting your lyrics and leaving the studio. When you have to do everything, and in my New York voice, everything, when you got to do everything, yeah, it's definitely a labor of love, man, for real. So shout out to everyone that's joining me this evening. Really appreciate that. All right, going to take a not deep dive, but just a kind of a dive into the song Amnesia, which I'm releasing this week. And then while we're listening to the song and we're having a discussion about music, because there's a lot of things going on in music right now, and I will be discussing the main thing. Let's think of a concept for the video, and let's see if we can pull it off. Is that cool with everyone? All right, so you have some homework assignment. I'm not going to be on it long, but what's happening in the music industry is this. The people at Suno and Udio, those are the 2 major companies that are doing AI music. They are actually striking a deal with the music industry heads to accept a small portion of music created using AI. This is not good. They're slowly but surely taking the human element out of and away from and out of the hands of producers like you, writers like you, singers, MCs like you. All right. So Siddiqui Bakari speaks about this in his work when he deals with transhumanism, the morphing of machines and humans. We've already have cars that can park themselves and drive themselves. All right. We already have gadgets that'll clean your house and sweep the floor and all that kind of mess. We already have robots doing different things. We already have drone robots that are police, and land drones and air drones. Women got little toys that they use at night, some during the day that do whatever the hell it does. I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know. I don't have firsthand information on that. Okay, I don't have secondhand information on that, but I'm saying they got machines doing everything. They're taking the human being out of it, out of the equation. And so that's what's going on in the music industry right now as we speak. They're making a deal because guess record companies see the future of music is going to lie in the hands of machines, which is a bad thing. I remember one time I didn't even use a computer to make music. We just had to go in there and play. Now there's keyboards and yeah, I got 2 computers here and some other stuff and synthesizers and beat makers and yeah, I don't know. So I want to give y'all a peep into the world of Professor Griff and just one of the songs that I'm at the point where I'm almost completed. It's called Amnesia. And Amnesia is a title that I came up with simply because I wanted to resurrect the voice, the energy, and the spirit of some of those now ancestors that Public Enemy that we use on some of the songs. Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was one of those individuals. If you remember the song Bass Heads, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was the gentleman that we put at the beginning of the song. He said, "Have you forgotten that once we were brought here, we were robbed of our names? Robbed of our..." Hold on, let me play it for you. Hold on. I think I can play it for you. All on. All on.
Have you forgotten that once we were brought here, we were robbed of our name, robbed of our language. We lost our religion, our culture, our God. And many of us, by the way we act, we even lost our mind.
All right. That was Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Surprisingly enough, well, no, let me take that back and be very honest and very transparent. I'm not surprised. I was contacted by his children about maybe 4 or 5 months ago, probably 3 months ago. And they were talking to me about how should they approach this whole idea of people that did not even like their dad making money off their dad. So they said they didn't want to do anything to hurt the artist. And they wanted to issue a lawsuit. In that conversation, I'm not going to tell which of the children I spoke with. In that conversation, I said, yeah, I was the Minister of Information, and I was the one that brought your dad and Ava Muhammad, Tom Todd, Jesse Jackson, and a lot of the samples that Public Enemy used, they came through me. And I wasn't the only one, you know, Hank, Chuck, Eric, Keith, you know, people throwing things in the pot, but a lot of that information coming out of that school of thought, Nation of Islam and Black Panther Party and that kind of thing, you know, I was there and in it and feeding the information. So, and I felt somewhat responsible because, you know, at that particular time, you know, I was, you know, talking, I was like, Dad didn't mind. Your dad didn't mind because we was giving him exposure and putting him out there and letting people know who he is. But here we are, years and years later, after his transition. Now, it's a lawsuit going on, and yeah, I'm not saying I'm right smack dab in the middle of it, but yeah, and I'm not saying I do have a role and a part to play in it, whether you look at that as good or bad. But there is a lawsuit right now as we speak. All right, and if that lawsuit kind of goes through and it does what I think it's going to do, then everything else I submitted is going to be under scrutiny. Because there's about 5 or 6 songs, I mean, that I know that's prominent voices of people that I knew personally and soldiered with in the Nation of Islam, Ava Muhammad being one of them. Anyway, Tonight we're going to talk about Amnesia, the single I'm releasing. And I want everyone, if you can, support. I don't care if you have Captain Crunch coupons, food stamps, whatever you got. I guess you can't use your EBT card because they cutting down on SNAP benefits. So I guess you can't donate that way. But if you would like to donate, my Cash App is $ Professor Griff. If you would like to purchase the song, send me a text message, 678-557-2919. Let's see who we got on IG. Squeaky, I got you. All right. Who else? Pinocchio, Chin 21, vegan _ Lady P. Okay. Enigma Man. Who else? Hollywood. All right. So we got IG in the building. Who else we got? All right. Eugene Mason, Master Lee, Clever, whatever, Levels, yada, 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 whoopie whoop. Hold on. Georgisti, I don't know what that is. I'm just confused. All right. Gerald, what's good, bro? All right. Paul Jalen, Truck 9642, got you. Alex. All right. Shout out to everyone that's joining us this evening. Everyone else that might see this piece to you. All right. So let's start this thing. So I'm going to break down the song, go into it. I'm not going to spit any lyrics, but I am going to go over some things. So I took, again, Khalid Abdul Muhammad's voice and the part in the Public Enemy song that he used where he says, "Have you forgotten?" I came up with an idea because I was hanging out up in New York with KG from the Bomb Squad, who is my partner, KG. And if you don't know, KG, Keith Shockley and Professor Griff made up the group, the KGs. It was actually K and the letter G, Keith and Griff. But since I left the group and KG wanted to keep the name because he was known as KG, he just changed it to KJEE, Keith Shockley of the Bomb Squad. Me and Keith was tight, still are. All right. And up in New York with him, and we was throwing the title around, "Have You Forgotten?" And we wanted to kind of bring Khaled's name and his energy back. So I decided to take just that piece, "Have You Forgotten?" So here it is in the context in which I'm using it now. Hold on for a second. Let's see if we can make that louder. All right, hold on. Simple. Just a simple sample. All right. So let's go back to the beginning of the song and kind of piece it apart. If you can rock with me. I'm not going to be on here long, fam. And while I'm doing this, think of a video concept that we can kind of rock with. Is that cool with everyone? So all the producers and writers and MCs and poets, step to the front of the room. Come on, take a seat. Have a seat. All right. If you want to purchase the song, of course, hit me up, 678-557-2919. I'll give you one version and one mix of it, and then we'll give everyone else another different mix if they get it after the next couple of days. Anyway, in the meantime, between time, all right, we're going to start off as using traditional Public Enemy style format of doing songs. So the message, the movement, the mission, and the music. We kind of take all of that, throw it in a gumbo, stir it up. You understand what I'm saying? Then we kind of go for it from there. So the way I write from bottom to top. Of course, I have to start out with a title because I want to know where I'm going with it. And Amnesia, of course, it's almost like a sonic flashback. It's almost like, have you forgotten all the things that Public Enemy talked about in all of those songs that we kind of gave you guys? So you can remember some of the songs. If we talked about 911 as a joke, you remember that song. So all the things we spoke about in that song, and in Fight the Power, She Watched Channel Zero, Bassheads, and all of them songs, all of those subjects that we talked about. It almost seems like we never hear the voices of those individuals that we used in those samples on those records. So we decided to resurrect them. So what I did was brought it up to date and using some of the voices of today.
Black Betrayal. It hits different when it's dressed in luxury labels and bought with the coins of the community that built you. Let's get real. When you rise up on the shoulders of your people, then forget us For access and applause from others, that is not evolution. That is strategic amnesia.
So when I heard the sister on IG talking about that, of course, her talk was a lot longer, and she started talking about strategic amnesia. You ever see somebody or a possum play dead? So some of these so-called MCs and rappers and people that was in the music industry, helping to raise the vibratory pitch of your thinking into the mind of God. All right, it seemed like they lost their way. So I asked, I called on Khaled to ask the question: have you forgotten? Have you forgotten all of those things that we talked about then? And we're not far removed from that era, from that conscious era of hip hop to today. So have you forgotten? And then no one has came up behind Public Enemy to pick up, to grab the baton to move conscious hip hop forward. If you're out there, contact me, 678-557-2919. So going back to the beginning now, what I did, so it's not so boring, because I understand the attention span is short, I put a traditional, normal hip-hop beat with a city drone underneath it to carry that young lady's statement. What I mean by cine drone, meaning you ever sit in a movie theater and you hear the drones to give it kind of cinematic effect. I put that behind the intro. Now, this technique that you can incorporate in the way you produce or whatever, I'm just giving it to you. All right, here we go.
Black Betrayal. It hits different when it's dressed in luxury labels and bought with the coins of the community that built you. Let's get real. When you rise up on the shoulders of...
Now you see the few minutes that's doing that, it's already letting you know some shit's about to pop off. I don't care if you're on the rooftop. I don't care what you're doing. You hear that right there, you say, oh shit. Shit's about to go down. So in the movies, when you start hearing stuff like that, in the cinematic stuff, and you see it in a scene, you're already preparing yourself. You follow what I'm saying? And that's real. So that's the thing I wanted to, the vibe I wanted to kind of create in the intro of this particular song. All right. Scorpio Venom, what's good with you? All right. Mr. Nemo, what's happening with you? Enigma, what's good? All right. So that's the kind of energy that I wanted to create in the beginning of this particular song. So just bear with me. All right. Now, if you're dozing off right now because you got to go to the gym or something in the morning, I understand. I truly understand. But rock with me for a second. All right. I'm not going to be on here long. So here we go.
Black Betrayal. It hits different when it's dressed in luxury labels and bought with the coins of the community that built you. Let's get real.
All right, I'm going to finish playing that. But as the music is, Sir Jinx, man, what's good from the Lynch Mob? Sir Jinx, what's good with you, bro? All the way from the West Coast. I'm just doing it the way we doing it, Jinx. That's it, bro. All right. Anyway, so when the song dropped, I wanted to either do a tape stop it, let it drag as though you're stopping the record that's on the turntable, and then I wanted to drop the beat and see how it come in. So let me give you that, picking up where we left off.
When you rise up on the shoulders of your people, then forget us for access and applause from others. That is not evolution.
Wait, when you forget us, who we are, those individuals that help you get to where you are, just so you can get an applause from them other people and access to certain things from them other people, and you forget us, yeah, that's selective amnesia. Let's dive into it. This is amnesia, y'all.
Then forget us for access and applause from others. That is not evolution. That is strategic amnesia. Amnesia.
Ooh. Tape stop and then the drone drop. I don't know, fam. I'm gonna take it from the drone. I'm taking from the selective amnesia. Let's go.
Access and applause from others. That is not evolution. That is strategic amnesia.
Beat drop.
Amnesia.
All right. Something simple. We're going to hide that underneath. All right. That's one drum track. We're going to hide underneath. And we might even take out the highs in the studio and just give you the mid-range and the low, just to get you to do this. All right. Providing you can dance. Now, if you was in a dance group back in the day and you was like 98 pounds, you could do splits and flips and all that. You might not be able to do that now. I'm not even sure. I need to see that for myself. All right, but let's go back.
Evolution. That is strategic amnesia. Amnesia.
All right, now we're going to add the other drum track like this. All right. Now we got to add some noise that Public Enemy always do under the tracks like this. Sir Jinx, you still with me, bro? All right. All right, so that's where we are right now. So what we're going to do is just kind of build on that. We're going to add in some scratching. Sir Jinx is good for that. Stabs and some fucking nasty ass ugly guitars that I found that I just flipped backwards. Any of these things, I'm a solo and let you hear it. All right, here we go.
That is not evolution. That is strategic amnesia.
Guitar.
Amnesia.
No. All right, no, hold on. Y'all don't even hear that backwards guitar. Hold on. Do I need to bring that up for y'all? I think I need to do, because y'all not even understanding it like that. Here's the noise. Do I need to solo the noise for y'all? Let me solo the noise so you know. You should be able to vibe with that. We there. All right, I'm going to keep y'all there, though. Let me keep y'all right there, because we're going to add in the scratching and the gritty guitar right here. Scratching. We're going to add in some stabs. One more guitar over top. Can we do that? All right, right here. All right, let me let y'all hear how that sounds. All right. All right, bring it up the rear to add the low end to it, the bottom. Let's add some bass. Now, wait a minute. Not your typical bass line. All right? Just your bass line you might play on keys just to give it a mood. Not actually a bass line. You understand what I'm saying? But a mood. Let's give it a mood. All right? Here we go.
Not evolution. That is strategic amnesia.
All right? So already we in. So what I did at that point is just from the rip answer what Khalid Abdul Muhammad is saying by asking us, have you forgotten? And all I'm doing on the vocal is answering him. So here we go.
That is strategic amnesia.
Now, by the time the hook comes, it gets crazy and wild because all of that stays. I changed the frequency of it and the volume. All right. The volume of it. And I start to add all of those things that we as Public Enemy Bomb Squad used to add in the songs to give the songs its personality. All right. So I'm going to play it from here and add some of the things just to sprinkle in there. You know how you in the kitchen and you making like vegan tacos or something, you sprinkling some stuff, you want to make it taste right and that kind of thing. So you got to sprinkle some stuff in there to, you know, here we go. So first I added just the it may not mean anything to you right now, but and then I add some sirens to let you know it's urgent. What the shit we about to say right now is urgent. Here we go. I added the sirens. And then I added a backward noise that's ugly as hell, and they may irritate your ears. All right, let's play it from here and add the ugly noise, the backwards noise. Then I added some dudes in the background fighting or some shit. Then I added a crowd, right? All of that's going on while the music is playing. So I'm gonna give you everything, not everything, everything right now. Here we go. Bang, bang, bang. Rock with me. All right, it's coming together. I got you. All right, y'all rocking with me? Y'all still there? All right. All right, Charles W3, I see you. All right. All right, we're gonna let it rock out. Hold up. You have to have a voice in it that sounds nothing
Amnesia.
like that. You understand what I'm saying? To let people know.
Amnesia.
Simple. Because what that does is you hide it in the mix and it sticks in the subconscious mind.
Amnesia.
All right. And then you might have something like this to accent it.
Amnesia. 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 Amnesia.
You follow what I'm saying? So it works because that voice, unlike my raspy voice, that voice will cut through. You understand what I'm saying? So when you got gritty stuff, it works.
Amnesia, amnesia, amnesia. Amnesia, amnesia, amnesia.
Okay. All right, so on this song right here, you can't come nice with this. You can't like, yeah, this is a fuck around and find out kind of beat. This ain't no, yeah, nah. You understand what I'm saying? You have to bring it. You gotta come from here. Not here with the raspy stuff, yada yada yada, whoop, not there. You gotta come here, man. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta bring it. Now, if your voice is way up here and you rap like this, no, that's not gonna cut it. It's just not. You understand? You can't even rap up there like that. If you rapping about candy-coated popcorn, peanuts, and the prize type shit, some Cracker Jack shit, no. Turkish taffy, fucking Skittles, yeah, all of them, yeah, no. Leave this alone. You understand what I'm saying? Bring the fucking pain. Bring it. And you don't have to do a whole lot of cursing when you bring it, but you got to bring it. If this don't bring it out of you, yeah, this ain't bling, 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 bling. This ain't that. This is not, yo, no. This is some man shit here. This is some to fuck up in the morning, have your wife pack your motherfucking lunch. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, just, yeah. Construction worker type shit. This ain't no, yeah. Yeah, so this is that kind of shit from the rip. Let's go.
Black Betrayal. It is different when it's dressed in luxury labels and bought with the coins of the community that built you. Let's get real. When you rise up on the shoulders of your people, then forget us for access and applause from others, that is not evolution. That is strategic amnesia.
Let it go, must be show. Cause I dialed 911 a long time ago.
Amnesia, 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 amnesia.
Yo, don't be afraid to break the fucking rules, man.
Amnesia, amnesia, amnesia.
Break the rules.
Amnesia, 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 amnesia.
Break the rules. Do it your way. Break the rules. If shit, don't act like you don't think it's gonna fit because it's not pleasing to the ear of somebody in the studio or whatever. All right. Wait till they go to the bathroom and shit. Throw it in there anyway. Put it in there backwards. Hide it in the track. Do whatever. You understand what I'm saying? There are no rules. Thank you. Damon 6 Slayer 9. There are no rules. You understand what I'm saying? Bomb Squad, the whole concept was to go against the grain. I think it was Chuck D. He said he wanted to make music that black women can't dance to. So it's going to force us to listen. Shit needs to be chaotic. We need to bring that back. Because if I just play for y'all the beat and the bass line, y'all be like, that shit is boring. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I'm going to try to isolate it for y'all. Bass line and beat. How's that? Here we go. Now it's a simple episode. How this kid got his whole chest exploded. Had it coming, but you didn't even know. But if the truth is, no more, you gotta rock it. The Glock can fit it just to knock it in your pump and cock it. The devil seems to always have some motherfucking point to prove. Now I'm gonna show you how fast the planet moves. Cool, but no. Let's start that over. We need some gritty shit like this. Yeah. Some shit that'll wake up your grandmama. Be like, Jerome, what the hell are you doing in there? That's good. Grandma, go back to sleep. I got this. Now, whatever you put on top of that, I would suggest put something in the hook vocally that the people in the audience can sing. And I was just like, okay, borrowing from battle rappers, I'm like, okay, if you want to get down, and we can get down. Come on, let's get down. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing. All right, make your music. I'm trying to inspire you and encourage you to make your music. All right. The song will be out in a few days. It's called Amnesia from your brother, Professor Griff. All right. If you have any ideas you want to throw my way in reference to a video, or hell, if you want to come shoot it and make it. Now, you got to have some skills now. Because the last video I shot with my cell phone. So if you're not coming like on that level, I'm just saying. I don't care what kind of camera you have or whatever. I'm just saying it's the idea. I remember an old man told me, he said it's not the paintbrush, it's the painter. It's not the camera. It's the person behind the camera with the eye and the idea. All right. So I'm gonna open up for some Q&A. Ask me any question you want to ask. I'll drop it on you if I can. First question. DJ Productions want to know what program you're using to make beats. All right, let me just correct some of the language for you. I don't make beats. This is a whole goddamn composition. All right. If I was to just make a beat, I would just give you a beat, and that beat would sound like a beat. This. That's a beat. I don't do that. I use a software program called Reason. You've heard of Reason. And I think I'm using Reason 2.5. All right, so Reason Studios. Go look up Reason Studios. Reason is if you can see over here. I'm not sure if anyone, maybe I think I might need to turn my camera around so you guys on YouTube and everyone else can kind of see what I'm doing here. If I can kind of get my camera to act right. And I could show you that. All right. If I can pull it back a little. I'm using Reason. So Reason will allow you, and the reason why I like Reason, if I can get the camera right. Okay. Reason will allow you. Let me just put this right here. Reason will allow you to add in over here all of the instruments that you want to drop in to create the sound that if you want to add another drum machine, keyboard, or whatever, you could do it. And then you could add effects, players, instruments, whatever. And here's the sounds that I've collected over the years. Now, I did offer the sounds that I was selling. If anyone want to purchase the sounds, let me know. You could purchase one folder or you can purchase 10. You could purchase the whole bundle, the whole pack. I have it for sale. All right. Now, so Reason 12 allows you to kind of like lay it out like this. And a lot of the DAWs, digital audio workstation, I don't want to sound like I'm intelligent over here, will allow you to kind of lay these tracks out like that. In this song, I'm using 25, 27 tracks, simply because there's a lot of different things that I'm sprinkling in the track. All right, so if I was to start the track from the beginning, first thing that you're hearing is
it's different when it's dressed in luxury labels and bought with the coins of the community that built you. Let's get real. When you rise up on the shoulders of your people, then forget us for access and applause from others. That is not evolution. That is strategic amnesia.
So what I was doing was I layered everything. And then when I go to mix it, I'll only have certain things come out of left speaker, right speaker, whatever. So you understand what I'm saying? So yeah. So I go through the whole process. All right. I go through the whole process. And like I said, I'm using about 27 tracks. Only because, as you can see right here, there's only two things on this track. There's only one thing on this track. All right. Of course, these are vocals. Yeah. So there's only one thing on this track. So it's really not hard to mix. I name everything. And that's how I kind of do my production. Any more questions? Any more questions? Do you have access to set the hertz? Yes, I do. But I have access to adjust and set the hertz at 432 in the mixing and mastering. Not on this stage of it. This stage of it, to be honest with you, if I was to just solo this and be honest with you, I don't know what's the hertz right here. That noise right there is enough to agitate your gallbladder. You understand what I'm saying? Then mixed with scratching, it doesn't sound like anything. So So to ask me what hertz that is, I couldn't tell you. When I get to the overall mixing aspect, before we go into mastering, I'll change the hertz to a 432 so it can vibe with your soul. I don't want it. There's enough agitation in the song already. I'll bring it down to 432 and we'll kind of go from there. All right. Any more questions? Any questions on IG before I get out of here? Any questions on Facebook? Everyone has their own way of producing things. Some people may listen to this and be like, that sounds like noise. And that's what I want it to sound like, noise. I want that shit to be so agitating to the point where you nodding your head to and you can't help it. You understand what I'm saying? Which is a beautiful thing for me, because it might force you to listen to the lyrics. All right? Any more questions? Analog or digital? This is digital. This is digital, but I did use some analog sounds. All right? Once you take analog and you dump it into a digital audio workstation, it becomes digital. All right? Will analog make a comeback? Yes, it will. As you can see over here, I have analog instruments. The hand pan. I have the Udu and some other instruments over there. All right. So yeah, it's going to make a comeback. We're never ever going to get away from the analog frequency and vibe. All right. Any more questions? All right. I'm going to play the track, let y'all vibe to it, and then hopefully I can get some of you guys interested enough to kind of check out the song, check out the video, purchase it, support the platform, support independent artists, and let's make it happen. I'm sure we can do that. Let's go.
Black Betrayal. It hits different when it's dressed in luxury labels and bought with the coins of the community that built you. Let's get real. When you rise up on the shoulders of your people, then forget us for access and applause from others. That is not evolution. That is strategic amnesia.
The song is called Amnesia. Thank y'all for joining me. I really appreciate everyone. You can go to www.professorgriff.me and or www. I'll put it up on the screen. www.publicnme.me. All right. Y'all can get the song on Bandcamp. www.professorgriff.bandcamp.com. All right, fam. Peace.
Amnesia.
All right, peace, fam. Hope y'all got something from this. Make sure you'll stay tuned, all right? Because we're doing writing classes, production classes, music business 101, singer-songwriting classes, all right? Stay tuned. My number is 678-557-2919. Any of the research material today, especially the beats and the sounds and the whatever, I have them in a sound pack. Hit me up. Y'all could get them, all right? Number 678-557-2919. It's your brother, Professor Griff, and I'm outie 5. Jeez. Well, you're not my age, a little bit younger. If you're not between 55 and 65, you don't understand that. So we good though. All right. Peace. Peace.